Welcome back, everyone. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling?
Hope you guys had a great week.
Yes, for sure. I had an amazing week. I think. I don't know. Whenever this comes out.
My week was fine. A little ghetto, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Can't complain. At least I'm alive. It's all in perspective.
All in perspective. Got it. Okay. All right. So today we are here to talk about societal and cultural.
Yep.
Societal and cultural expectations. Wow.
Of women 30 years old and up.
Okay. Yeah. We brought this topic up because I just went to a wedding, my brother's wedding, and I experienced some pressures on myself via family about when am I going to get married, when am I going to have children. Although I've been regurgitating to everyone that that's not the plans I want for myself, and that's never going to be the plans. I think I've been saying it to them since I was like 14. But yet, here we are. When they say, like, when you go to weddings, like, it brings out different sides of people, like women who weren't concerned with marriage all of a sudden want to get married, and then people start talking about babies. Like, people get married and like, oh, when's the baby? When are you gonna have a baby? It's like, can we just enjoy our marriage?
Right.
So I was pretty frustrated. I was already irritated because I was hot as fuck, and then somebody very close to me kept pushing the baby and the marriage. She's like, I just want you to find someone that loves you and that would marry you. And I'm just like, so you're telling me people that I've dealt with don't love me and don't want to get married to me? Like, bitch. I was very close to, like, reading her for filth, but my sister was there and she's seeing where I was at, like, and where I was going to get, and she kind of, like, intervened and, you know, told the person, like, you know, Jessica's made it very clear from day one she doesn't want that. I think we should just respect that. So thankfully my sister was there, so that lady wouldn't have to, like, we wouldn't have to fight. But yeah, have you dealt with any pressures with family, especially with our age, our grown age?
At this big age, yes. Culturally, it's a thing. Like, you know, growing up, especially for girls, like, at one point in your life, you're told you're not allowed to have boyfriends. Go figure. You figure out how to get them anyways.
Yep.
Then you start to go to college, then you get questioned, where is the boyfriend? Do you have one? And then if you miraculously end up with a decent guy, right? From the list of from your list of expectations, not what they want, right? Then you get bombarded with, oh, when you're gonna get married. And if you guys have lasted that long to proceed to a marriage, you get married. Then when not even maybe 6 months into the marriage, you're already getting asked, when you guys gonna have babies, not realizing that when you are married, that's a different phase in your life, and you want to enjoy each other together
and learn
each other a little bit better before the child comes in. People fail to realize children disrupt a lot of stuff because everything is about them. Yes, you have to make time for your significant other and for each other as a couple, but children disrupt a lot of stuff.
Yep.
That when it's just y'all two, you don't have to worry about that because it's like, oh, we're gonna go on a date, bet, let's go. We want to take a trip, bet. You don't have to worry about babysitters, who's gonna watch your kid, or if you already have children, you can't bring them on a trip too early because their immune system isn't built up yet. So typically you wait when they're like 6-7 months, then you can probably take them somewhere with you. But there's a lot of things that people don't take into consideration, especially in this day and age, this fast-paced life we're living. That is totally different from when we were born in the 80s. Like, my parents didn't have a lot of people around to help watch me as a child. So, like, it was a lot of maneuvering and planning. That's why my dad's big on, you know, when you have a kid with someone, you two have to communicate to know the ins and outs on how you guys are going to plan your day or your week when it comes to both of you guys working, you have small children. Yes, family are always there to help, but if your village... You know, the title, the whole concept of, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. I understand that. I truly believe in it. But nowadays, the village is still working. The village is still fast-paced. The village isn't what it used to be back then when grandma was home all the time.
The village had one working parent and the other one kind of home to kind of maintain, like,
the house and stuff. But it's not the same anymore. Now, it's like both parents, if both parents are still together, are working to provide for that child in the home, and even if both parents are no longer together, but the main common denominator is to care for the child, right? Mm-hmm. So when your grandparents are still young, in a sense where they're still of age to work, it may be hard for them to babysit, right? Mm-hmm. And me personally, if my parents are still working Monday through Friday, I don't want to bombard them on the weekend and just drop my baby off to them. I mean, they're grandparents; they're gonna want to take their grandbaby, right? But I want them to enjoy their time off from mm-hmm. work, right? And then you may have siblings that, you know, they may be helping, but people still have their own lives too that we have to be mindful of. And I get it. You know, if you have a child, you have a child because you want to have that kid, not because society told you to or family told you to. Because trust and believe, as many times people say, "Oh, Peggy, when you gonna have the baby?" I'm like, all y'all that have been trying to place a baby in my freaking uterus, be prepared to babysit.
Called on.
Be prepared to get that phone call. Yeah. Because I was just reading up on something before coming here, mm-hmm. and I started to hear it a little bit more. And they're saying a lot of healthcare systems in America need to start implementing this phase mm-hmm. that they don't, but outside of the U.S. they do the 4th trimester, mm-hmm. and this is the trimester where the baby is already out of your body, but this is the time for you to bond with your child, time for your body to heal. Mm-hmm. You breastfeeding. I was reading the comments and I was reading the list the woman made. She's like, you know, don't let anyone tell you you're holding your baby too much, because this is the time your womb was their home for 9 months. Now they're outside of that comfort zone. That they only really found comfort in you, like you holding them to your chest so your baby can regulate their heartbeat, get accustomed to you. I mean, in a sense, they're already accustomed to you anyways, mm-hmm. but being accustomed to being outside of the home that they were in for 9 months, you healing. That's the time for moms to heal. And we know in America is so big on telling women what to do and what women should do with their bodies, and getting rid of abortion in certain states and stuff, which doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, you want me to have this kid, but you don't have any system put in place to help me. Even as a working mother, I may have money. I don't have a millionaire lifestyle where I can afford a nanny, or maybe some women probably can't even afford a doula. And a doula, I think that would be one of the best things, and I would definitely invest in getting a doula when it's time for me to have a child, and a midwife, mm-hmm. Because we know as Black women, our rates of dying while giving birth or after giving birth is 10 times, or if not 4 times higher. I don't know the numbers, but it's higher than white women. And even if we are well educated and we have the money, we're less likely to be cared for, because it's assumed that when we ask for pain medicine, we're going to get addicted to it. We're trying to, like, what, lady? Technically, I don't want to take this medicine because I want to breastfeed my child, and I don't want my medicine that I'm taking to affect my child, because whatever I take, it goes to the breast milk anyways. So, and there's so many factors to it. That's why I tell people, stop asking women when they're going to have children, because one, you don't know if they're dealing with infertility issues. You don't know if they can't have kids, mm-hmm. So...
I feel like people granted, it's easier said than done, but for the people that do want children but are dealing with infertility mm-hmm. and are being asked when you're gonna have a baby, I think you should just make the other person stop taking the uncomfortableness of their question and not reciprocating it. I would reciprocate it. I'm like, I can't have kids, my uterus doesn't work. That person would be shocked and wouldn't know what to say. But I guarantee you they'll stop asking.
They'll stop fucking asking.
And it might not even, and that's just me assuming, but like it could also be the man. And that's something that we don't discuss often is like people just assume when you're having infertility issues that it's the woman, but it could also be the man. Mm-hmm. But because of men's ego, I'm sure no wife or a girlfriend is going to say that out loud. Mm-hmm. So, for me, I would have just... you're not going to leave me with that uncomfortable feeling. I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable and make you realize how inappropriate your question to me is. Mm-hmm. Especially because, like, if you assume that I want children and I don't have it at this time, why, like, you ask it, it's going to say, oh, yeah, I forgot. I dropped it on my to-do list. Let me go.
Or I could be dealing with a medical condition where would it be feasible right now for me to get pregnant? Mm-hmm. Or me getting pregnant would cause me more harm, or the baby harm, or the baby wouldn't be viable after a certain point because of the medical condition I'm in. This is why we gotta stop asking women, oh, when are you gonna have a baby? Don't you want kids? Yeah. The fuck is wrong with you? So I totally agree with you. Start making people feel uncomfortable and feeling stupid of asking people those type of questions. Because I rarely see people approaching men like, when you gonna have a baby? Like, when you gonna have kids? Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all quick to ask women that, and it's like crazy to me. So what I wrote down before coming here.
Do you want to know? Would you assume that they asked a woman first? Because like men can have children whenever at whatever age, but I think the reason why the question comes up so much for women is because of that clock of like there's a time because you're born with all your eggs,
yes.
and essentially they just keep
losing them.
Keep losing them as you get older, and obviously the older you get, the less likely that you'll have enough eggs to produce children. So maybe that's the reason why people ask women more than they ask men, because men can have babies at like 80, 90. My grandfather has definitely proven that point. But for women, it's obviously age.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, since the
it's still insensitive as fuck. But I would
is.
assume that's the reason.
Oh, I forgot to add it here, but I'll throw it in there when time comes. So I wrote down just tidbits. These are my thoughts on it. Like for society, I wrote down that even though society has gotten more modernized, there's been some movements and understanding with women and the respect for women's movements and women's bodies, but not everything has changed. We just seen like a couple of months ago how a lot of southern states, Midwestern states pretty much kicked Roe versus Wade out the window, like pretty much removing the rights of women having the access to a healthy and safe abortion if they wanted to terminate a pregnancy. We don't know why they want to terminate a pregnancy. We don't know, God forbid, if it was due to incest, rape, they have a medical condition that they cannot hold the baby any longer, or the baby wouldn't be viable outside of the womb when it's time. And just recently I heard a story of a woman she was told that the baby wasn't forming the skull at all. So the baby wouldn't be viable outside of the womb. So it was at a stage where she could have terminated the pregnancy, but due to the state that she's in, the state she's living in, they're like, absolutely not. They're denying her request. So now, unfortunately, she has to go through that trauma of pushing out a baby that wouldn't be able to live.
Yeah.
So why would you make me do that? Because people fail to understand that some women can naturally, I'm assuming, if they, depending on what their mindset is at and where their mental state is at, they probably can disassociate from the pregnancy. Some women have done that. They absolutely don't want the kid. They know the kid is in their stomach, but they don't want it.
Yeah.
But then you have women who have bonded with that child. They want that child to be healthy, but then the doctor's telling them that the baby cannot be viable outside of this womb. Like, you would have to terminate, and it wouldn't be healthy for you to keep this child. And the state is having control of my body. I don't understand that shit. Like, how are you gonna sit here and trying to control people and when they should have kids? But I get it. It's deeper than that. But I'm not gonna say it because before y'all Kanye West me in certain comments. I'm not. I've seen it on some certain pages that I truly believe that there was a little magazine thing I saw, Newsweek, like 10, 20 years ago, and it said what America would look like by 2050, and it's this ambiguous woman, like fair tone, full lips, nose is it wasn't weirdly shaped, curly hair, thick curly hair, because people are intermingling with different races, different ethnicities. So there's a lot of talk about, the reason why they want to control abortions is because supposedly the numbers are, people would assume that black women would be the ones doing abortions so much, but there are numbers to show that white women are actually getting abortions, and that this fear of whiteness disappearing, the fearness of, too many
becoming the minority.
Yeah, too many white women either having abortions or they choose not to have kids. Some women probably don't want to have kids. They're like, I'm successful. I don't want children. I don't foresee myself having children. I love my lifestyle the way it is. So the numbers of birth rates have gone down in that category, in that group of people. So government's like, you know what? We need to control this shit. We need more white women to have children. So yeah, we're going to end this whole abortion thing right here. Dead ass. Like, done.
Shit's finito.
Finishes. So it's like, but it's weird how you're gonna try to control someone's body and tell them when, and then the whole aspect of religion and whatnot. I'm like, y'all really want to bring religion in here?
They love to pull from from the Bible when it's convenient to them.
But church and state's supposed to be separate. Y'all forgot about that. Unless you live in a super religious country.
Yeah.
I guess it flies in a sense. Like, you know what I mean? But y'all already made it quite clear church and state is separate. It's written in legal documents. It's written in what you guys like to say. Your founding fathers wrote this. Church and state is supposed to be
different.
It's supposed to be separate. Like, you don't involve religion in it.
But that's literally how all of Congress justifies removing.
Which is bogus to me, because I'm like, the way y'all move and how y'all. So if y'all want to put religion into it, Jesus literally said to treat others the way you want to be treated. The way y'all treat black people, the way y'all treat foreigners, y'all not acting very Jesus-like.
No.
Y'all really not. And then y'all want to bring religion. You can't pick and choose. Like how people tend to say, I mean, I go to church and they say, you know, no sin weighs more than the other. Sin is a sin at the end of the day. Yeah. Like, yeah, we may look at someone committing murder, so, oh my God, how could you do that? You just outright kill someone, right?
But it's then, equivalent to like you stealing.
Stealing is still a sin. Lying is a sin.
Envying someone
is a sin. Gluttony is a sin. You know what I mean? Like a whole bunch of shit is a sin, right? But then here you're all determining like
what ways outweighs the other. Like,
yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? But then you're not providing services for childcare. You're not providing working mom hours. Some jobs refuse to provide that, or they're not suitable to fit a mom's schedule if she wanted to. Thank God for remote work. Oh, Lord Jesus Christ. You know, that's one good thing that came out of COVID. Good Lord.
Literally.
Literally. And they're not providing the tools to help women to take care of these children that you want them to keep. So especially in states, and the states that are asking for abortion, they have the lowest rates in education, the lowest reading rates, the lowest math, and y'all want people to have kids, but y'all not providing the proper school.
In the wrong thing.
If you want people to have kids, invest in education.
Yeah.
Invest in healthcare, right? Like if you put into the system, maybe you won't have so many sick people. Yeah. People who are dealing with health issues, no matter what may be causing the health issue. And maybe if you provide the proper healthcare, it's like America wants to make itself so advanced, but then you look at other countries that America think is better than, but they're typically more advanced than us in how they treat, like a lot of European countries, a woman if I was to give birth today, I am home for a whole fucking year. And I still have my job when I come back.
Right.
And I get paid while I'm home. America barely want to give you the 12 weeks off.
America survives off of labor. And
literally. Cheap labor at that.
Yeah.
They don't want to give you, they don't want to raise minimum wage at all, but then yet the cost to live is atrocious and it's fucking ghetto. I don't know what I buy at the grocery store. I'm damn near spending $200.
We're not even gonna talk about that part.
Jessica hearts breaks every time.
I for one person, I don't know why. I don't think I shop right, to be fair, because the amount of money you spend, or like some people that have multiple people in the household spend on groceries, I'm spending the same, and I'm just like, am I like not spending?
But if you're choosing healthier options too, like even for me, like I stopped buying a lot of junk. I stopped buying cookies and stuff like that. Processed foods. So I would get oranges, bananas, eggs. I'll purchase like heavy cream for certain dishes I know I need to make. I try to get like pasta that have like veggies in them already, because you know, guys, I struggle with vegetables. But like healthy things like lettuce, certain dressings, some fruits that I like to eat. I really enjoy that. I know it won't go bad in like 2 days the moment I put it in the fridge. Those things cost money, and the prices of those things have gone up considerably. Yeah. Right? So things that used to probably, like I'll go to the groceries and get 4 items, just 4 items, and the thing is already ringing up $70. Like, there's only 4 things on this conveyor belt. Why am I paying $70?
Yesterday, I went and just grabbed a few items. I already had the majority of the stuff, but like a few items to make a pasta dish. Shit was $40. I was like,
you can go. They're saying the cost to go out to eat and food shopping is the same, so you might as well. Like, girl, let's make reservations to go out to eat, because then you, like, with the exception of having to tip someone, that's it. That's the only extra thing, because it's like, bro,
it's gonna get to the point where the cost that we're spending now is gonna be normalized. Like the thought of like spending, like it's gonna be normal to spend $40 on one dish for one person. Mind you, I didn't buy a lot of fucking food to like.
No reason why a gallon of milk, I mean, I don't drink milk, but a gallon of milk should cost you $5-6.
That is disgusting. That is disgusting.
That is atrocious to me. Like, why? When I saw how much it used to cost,
it's giving me more reason not to buy cow's milk. Like, I haven't drank cow's milk in like 5 years, but
I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
My fucking oat milk was $2.89. I'll take that any day, all day.
Yeah. But the moment y'all make that shit cost $4,
I'm just not gonna have cereal.
Cause then that's fine. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go buy oats, let it soak, and create my own fucking oat milk and almonds too. Cause it's like a lot of things when people say, "Oh, you can just make it at home." I need to find the fucking time to make it.
So that's the thing, though. I think people are capitalizing off of the working person. So for me, I don't have the time to sit there and
make these things
make
from
these
scratch.
items. So I need the convenience of just buying a carton of oat milk or a carton of almond milk. I'm not sitting at home.
People think I'm living on the farm.
I'm not
like
Susie
waking
Homemaker.
up at the crack of ass, which is probably 4 a.m. where people used to wake up back in the time and get the cows ready and get the chickens out to roost and feed them. I don't got time for that. And on top of it off, we live in a city or a town where it's not feasible. We don't live in a rural area.
We got pigeons, and I don't know.
I haven't seen a pigeon in a while.
And fucking alley cats and
a little coyote here and there sometimes, girl.
Or now turkeys just roaming fucking.
And they be attacking people, so no.
Straight owning the street, like, bitch.
And don't you dare honk at them. So it's like, it's not feasible or doable.
But this is more reason as to why, like, having a child is not, like, ideal for a lot of people because financially, no matter how much money you make,
and I don't qualify for WIC for y'all who want me to have a kid. Supposedly I don't qualify for it because supposedly I make too much money. But I literally got paid yesterday, and guess what? I checked my fucking account today. Just from paying bills, my shit was negative $19.42. I'm being honest with you guys. So don't come to me asking me, when are you going to have kids? I literally have responsibilities by myself without children.
Yeah.
And a child is more, and I want to be able to give my child the best. I want to be able to love on them and hold them and take care of them and
give
make
them
sure
all the things that they need. And
yes, not the things that they want, but the things that they need. But I know love and support and emotional support is one of the biggest factors because you may not have enough money for that child, but if you give them emotional support and care and mental support that they need and respect them as individuals, right? Even from the time they're this little bitty babies, right? Hopefully you pray they're amazing humans when they become adults, right? You can't control what they do as adults. But you hope you instill in them and invest in them to be great people so that when you're no longer on the earth as parents, they can be amazing people. But finances play a role in that. How can you expect me to pour into my child when people fail to realize that if I don't have enough money to take care of my kid, that's stress. Yeah. And sometimes you don't want to bring that stress home and you don't want to bring that stress on your child. Mm-hmm. And as a woman, if I'm trying to heal from just pushing out, I don't think y'all understand. We literally whole humans, not half, not a quarter, not a third, and I'm not a big math person, those are numbers there, came out of someone's body, regardless if they had to cut your mother open or she had to push you out. A whole ass baby just came out of a woman's vagina, right? She has to heal. Her body has to go back to how it was, hormone-wise, physically, to how it was prior to giving birth. And sometimes your body doesn't fully heal the way it's supposed to, right? And I need time to bond with this child. I need time to make peace with the fact that I'm not pregnant anymore. But then you want me to come back and be fully functional. Some jobs only offer 12 weeks. I was appalled. Like, some jobs only gave you 3 weeks. My vagina has barely closed up, and you want me. Not my vagina. My cervix. For those of you who don't know female anatomy, go look it up. My cervix hasn't fully closed yet, and you want me to go stand on my feet or sit down somewhere while my child's at home, and they can barely smell me because they're not fully accustomed to me because I'm at work dealing with fuckery. Absolutely the fuck not.
Dealing with bullshit that don't even pay you.
Exactly, right? And it's like crazy to me. But then it doesn't surprise me because during slavery times, yes, I'm gonna take it there, when enslaved women gave birth, you would be lucky if your slave master let you rest for a day or two. Some woman would give birth 6 a.m. By 11, 12 noon, she's out on the field, okay? She's probably still fucking bleeding and hemorrhaging. I don't know if the placenta even came out yet.
That makes, that's a gut punch. That's such a gut punch whenever I hear shit like that.
So, stuff like that don't even shock me anymore when I read about stuff about America because I'm like, this ain't nothing new because this is how y'all still treat women. And then this is why we say equality. This is why we say...
You ever think about, like, all of the women's rights that we had to literally fucking scratch and dig to get, right? It's almost like, can I have a piece? I'm like, here, Dad, you always want something. And it's a crumb. Like, you always want something. Like, bitch, I'm hungry. You know I'm hungry. And you're giving me this crumb. And you want me to be happy with that. Like, no. You're not dealing with what I'm dealing with, so you can't even begin to conceptualize or understand. And so, therefore, the likelihood that you would give me what I'm asking for, is I have to literally scratch and crawl and fight to get those things. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
And then you have ignorant men who will say, well, y'all said y'all wanted equality. Y'all wanted to come out into the world and work. Yes.
At this point, I just want understanding, because I don't want those things, but like the people that I do know that want it, I just want them to have like people around them that, like, jobs to understand like what it physically feels like and what you physically have to go through. Women lose their teeth during pregnancy. Okay, all was it 36 teeth, all gone, just done.
32.
Is it 32? I don't know.
It's 32.
Well, do you count that with the
wisdom teeth? It depends, because some of them don't even come in at all.
Anyways, 32. I had fucking wisdom teeth, so fuck you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the amount of shit that because it's been going. Beginning of time, women have been giving birth, so men just assume like this is what your body's made for. But that doesn't mean it's not difficult. It's not hard. It's not. It doesn't consume everything in you to do that. Like,
and it's one of the ways to die too. Mm-hmm. Women die giving birth. You have to understand your body's going through a traumatic experience that is never experienced before, and even if it experiences again because you decide to have another kid, every pregnancy and every birth is different. It's not going to be the same. Mm-hmm. When I watch videos, because I've always been intrigued, I've always liked to learn things. When I watch videos, the pain, I forgot the measurement of pain, but the measurement of pain, nothing in human life, with the exception of breaking a bone, I think they said.
Which is typically what happens, right? Your bones just like...
Yeah, that's the only thing I think it can be compared to when giving birth. And that's what some people fail to realize.
But then you have to even think about, like, the feeling of breaking a bone is just one feeling. Like, you break your bone, now you have, like, this pain, this pain.
Right? There's a cast they're going to put over.
Yeah. Imagine doing that for 25 hours. Constantly breaking your fucking bone.
It's the contractions for me that, like... you can be in labor. I've been told some women have labor. Mm-hmm. They've only been in labor for 3 hours. Yep. Some have been in labor for 12. Some are in labor for 24 hours. Yep. But the baby is not ready yet. You're just constantly getting this pain that they said it's like it's like period cramps times 1,000. Yep. Okay, and there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is breathe when you feel it coming on. Yep. Right, and hopefully you have a supportive, and that's another reason why too y'all be asking women when they're gonna have kids. First of all, if I'm gonna be getting pregnant, the person who got me pregnant better love me down, because nothing is more dangerous than to be in the process of pregnant and losing your life, right? And all that trauma you gotta go through, and then to get pregnant by someone who ain't shit, that don't want to be shit, and don't want to help take care of this kid. That's why it's also important, ladies, to make sure you pay close attention to the men you are entertaining.
No, let's get onto that. I think a lot of women will settle because of the pressures that society and their culture gives them about not having a child or having children at a certain age. So I can't sympathize with that. I can understand, but I don't think it's okay to just settle for whoever you have. You knowing that they're not going to be as supportive as you need them to be. They're not going to be the father that you need them to be. But you're so concerned with not having a child at a specific age that you just take whatever's there.
Because you know that saying, everything happens for a reason. Maybe for whatever reason, it wasn't meant for you to have kids at that moment. I'm just saying, because we like to use that a lot. Like, I know the saying I be hearing. I want to make sure my thoughts are in order. Like, you know, people like to say children are blessings. Yes, they are. But don't use that line because you just keep popping out babies, and you cannot. Or even if you're a couple and y'all just having kids and both of y'all know you have no means or the mental capacity to take care of these kids, stop having them until you are in the right space to have them. I know you cannot fully prepare yourself to bring a child into the world. I get that. But make sure you're in the right state of mind. This excludes women who, God forbid, were raped, incest, things that were forced upon you. You're excluded from that. I'm not putting you into that category. Yep. But us women who willingly lay down, have sex, unprotected sex, no birth control, no nothing, knowing that the end result could be a pregnancy, right? Or whatever. I agree with you with the whole settling because of the cultural aspect of it. Of damn, here I am at 38. I'm still not pregnant. I mean, I guess we'll make it happen. No, the moment you gotta think that way, hell fucking no.
Yep.
Don't do that to yourself because if I can be laid on my back fucking you and you cannot support me, like certain things I gotta constantly ask you. There's certain things I know some men will not know.
Yeah.
He can't read our minds. Y'all, men can't read our minds, ladies, and we can't read theirs. There's certain things obviously we would have to ask them to do. Yes, but there's certain things that I shouldn't have to ask you to take out the trash. I shouldn't have to ask you to do certain things. So if I gotta ask you to do simple things.
You know that's an argument that a lot of men have. Like when women want when women want modern relationships, but then input like traditional relationship like title, like I guess gender related responsibilities, like taking out the trash.
Fuck off! I take out trash. I do all those things that I'm expecting.
You cuss me out.
I do those things that I'm expecting the man to come in and help when the time comes when we are living together. But trust and believe, I'll take a trash out if I need to. But if I am pregnant now, because once you hit 7 months, you can barely move. You're tired even more at this point. Because I think by the time you hit 8 months, if I'm not mistaken, the baby now, in most cases, their head is facing down. The feet is up here, fucking your ass up. And the head is down here, so you can no longer bend down to grab certain things. Or you gotta be very agile to grab things. Yeah. Sometimes I be rashing my knees like, don't bend over to get that. You know you can't get that. Let me get it for you. Stop, don't do that. Yeah. You know, there's certain things you can't be as agile as you used to be before your belly got bigger. And then simple tasks that you can do freely, it's tiring. Just going up the stairs like, oh my God, I'm so tired. The baby is heavy.
That's how I feel now.
You know, the baby's heavy. You got all these fluids in your body.
You feel swollen as fuck.
You feel swollen. Your feet start to get swollen. Your hands, your face, everything is swollen. You don't want to be bothered. So you want me to bring life into this world, right? You're a child. You're big-headed baby at that, right? But then you're not supporting and helping around in the house. But then, and that's what people don't understand. Like, this is why sometimes people are so quick when they see a relationship has ended, right? Before the child even gets there, or right after the child gets there. And then we're so quick to be like, see, this is why I stay single. I get it. But we don't know the circumstances would led to their breakup. Maybe it's a good thing that they broke up and they're not meant to be with each other. And it's actually safer that way, that they're no longer together and they rather co-parent. We don't know that. We can't base people's relationships that we see online or even our friends' relationship and base it off of ours, because we are not our friends. We are not their relationship. We are us. We are our own person. And I get the whole societal and cultural pressure. I used to feel that way when I was 25. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know better. At 25, I felt like, oh shit, in 5 years I'm going to be 30. I'm not married. I don't have kids. And honestly, I think a lot of people get scared when they're about to be 30, because it's like that you're entering a different realm in your life. 30, like, oh shit, this is another phase of my life. There's certain things I thought. And I realized, like, my 30s have been so much fucking fun. I think I have more fun in my 30s than I did in my 20s. So in my 20s, I spent it worrying. I was in school. I was broke.
Let's break down, like, the age groupings. So, like, obviously, 0 to 18 years. You're kind of told what to do. Yep. People are kind of, like, keeping tabs on you, where you're at, what you're doing, what you need to be doing. And then as far as school, obviously the teachers are keeping tabs. Your parents are like, everyone's keeping tab. Mm-hmm. And then obviously 18, you go off to college or not. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of sort of responsible for yourself at this point. Mm-hmm. And so you're just trying to navigate, because for so long you've had people tell you when, where, and what to do, where to be, when to be there. Mm-hmm. And now it's more of like, okay, do what you got to do. And I'm just like, no one's going to tell me what to do. Like, I got to figure this out. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of doing that from 18 to maybe 25. Mm-hmm. But then it goes by so fast. You're like, fuck, I'm about to be 30 in 5 more years. And I just started getting to understand myself. I just started getting to understand what it's like to be an adult. I just started getting my footing on how to be responsible. And now you're concerned with being 30 and not achieving what you were told needed to be completed and done at that age.
Or sometimes not even what you're told, it's what we see. And I think, well, the good thing is social media wasn't as big as it was when I was 25, because it was still Facebook at the time. Yeah. I think MySpace was still around, but not a lot of people were on it anymore, because we all jumped ship and went to Facebook. And I think that year when I turned 25, Instagram was just starting to come out, right? So literally all our interaction was Facebook, but we we're starting to see some people who already had gotten married, some people who had already had children. You're like, oh shit, I'm not.
Yeah, like it's filled with like proposals and baby announcements.
So I'm like, oh shit. But then I turned 30 and I was fine. Yes, I was in a relationship at that. No, I was already broken up. But before I had turned 30, I was going through that life-changing moment. It's like, okay, I'm entering another phase of my life. What are we doing in this next phase? Are you going to change yourself? Or are you going to make changes? This is in regards to my ex. What change are we going to make to do better? What are you going to change? Of course, didn't want to change. And in my heart at that moment, I knew that I'm not going to continue this relationship because I feel like even if things are good for 3, 4, 5 months, for however long, I'm going to be repeating myself again. And that's not fair to me.
Yep.
So we broke up like maybe a month or two before my 30th birthday. And you know, I was dating here and there. For one moment, I took someone a little seriously. Then after that, I was like, nah, let me just let it be. And I stayed single for a while. So the beginning half of my 30s was spent literally finding myself.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like to do, Peggy? What are your hobbies? Starting to like, I didn't start setting boundaries for certain situations until like, seriously until like maybe 2-3 years ago. Before I was trying to set them, but it wasn't like hardcore. You know what I mean? Like I was like dabbing a little bit in it. So that's why I tell my students now, like, there's no rush for you to be an adult. Enjoy your teenage years now. Have fun. Even in your 20s, have fun, but be smart about it. Yeah. Don't be reckless, but have fun. Try different things. Travel. Use your money to travel. Don't spend it on frivolous things. Now that I'm 36 and I realize in another 4 years I'll be 40, 40 don't even scare me. It's just like, I'll be like, I wonder how I'm going to look like, because I'm 36 and I still look.
Is that what you're thinking about?
Literally, I'm not even thinking about that. I'm not scared of 40.
I'm stressed the fuck out.
No, I'm not even worried about it because it's like, I look for, you know what's going to scare me? Fucking 50.
But see, I've seen 50. My
you
sister
been there
turned.
before?
No, I've seen my sister turn 50, and I'm just like, it's really not that bad. Like,
it's not.
She doesn't look 50. No, my mom had me really late 40s, so I only know my mom 50, 60, 70. And when she was 50, she was ripping and running, and you couldn't tell her shit. Like, she was out and about. She didn't look a day over fucking 45. Like,
your mother's so sweet.
Right. And so
we know your experience is traumatic. But no, it's honestly, it's all in perspective. Yeah. Like, I'm not scared of 50. It's just like, the only thing that...
You're getting closer to death.
Yeah, that's the only thing. And honestly, you don't know when you're going to die. No one tells you when you're going to die. I just don't want it to be sudden like that. Not in a bad way. And I don't want it to be in a way where I'm miserable. Like, I can't take care of myself. And someone else has to come wash my ass. Like, I don't want that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I want to live... Like, my grandfather, I think he's 97. He's moving. I want to... You know, Lord willing, live as long as he does. Like, the only pain he's dealing with is hip pain. I'm like, oh, you know,
that makes sense.
It's kind of expected, you know. At that time, your bones not the same anymore, and that's what I have to explain.
What is it gonna mean for us when we're at that age?
Girl, they might have robotic hips for us.
I keep hitting the mic. Sorry, guys. I'm already dealing with knee pain. Like, the wedding that I was at, because I had an accident on my right knee. But, like, the day after the wedding and leading up to probably, like, 3 days after, my knee was so swollen.
They might tell you might need to replace your knee.
I'm not replacing
But I heard it's never the same when they replace that shit. So, you know, I just want to, that's why I'm doing my best. It's so hard because I'm dealing with a lot right now. Is to take care of my body better now so I'm not suffering when I'm 60. And I'm
or suffering when you finally get pregnant.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, that's another thing too. So we can't force society to change, right? You still got dickheads out there. You still got people who literally want women. They want all of America to go back to 1945. I'm pretty sure of it. And we have to be mindful, not even mindful, be aware that a lot of people in Congress that are making these rules and regulations for us, these people were alive in the 1950s who probably thought it was okay that black kids were getting subpar education when there was segregation, right? These are people who were probably okay with the Jim Crow laws at a certain point, okay? These people, their grandparents were alive, okay? during this time period, okay? So we have to be aware of these things. You know me, I don't like to get political, but this is why I always tell people.
I think I need to give myself grace because you said things are not going to change, right? But, like, I'm so fucking over mentally preparing my mind and my response for the people that are older than me that are going to look at me, and when I tell them my age and my status, my relationship status, and the fact that I have no children. Like, I'm always mentally preparing my fucking, like, how am I going to, like, I know I'm going to say no, but, like, am I going to be nice about it? Am I going to be snippy about it? Am I just going to, like, give this person grace and be like, you know what, let me further explain to you why this isn't for me or why I don't want this for myself. I'm sick of that shit. I know, like, we're not going to be able to change everyone's minds,
yeah.
But it's just like, when are we going to just all accept
to mind
people's responses
and mind our business? I think that's another thing. And I was having a discussion with a colleague. He's like, it's not a bad thing, but he's like, I realize we're becoming more of an individualistic society where it's just me, and there's no communal thing where it's a shared space. We love each other and stuff like that. I don't have to know you on a personal level to care for you. We just care for humans. And this is before COVID. Like, people were particularly selfish, and COVID, you know, kind of made it even worse. Because, I mean, part of it was like we had no choice but to be on our own because we didn't want to spread a disease that was just dropping people like flies, and we didn't know what it was. But I think as a society in the last couple of years prior to COVID, we were slowly inching towards being very selfish. Like, there's nothing wrong with being selfish to a certain extent where you feel like you're used up and you want to fill up your cup, because I cannot give from an empty cup, and we all know this, right? There's levels to selfishness. Like, selfishness to take care of yourself, and there's people who are outright selfish. Like, they don't give a fuck if you're bleeding. They will record it. Don't even call 911. I think that's on a whole different level of selfishness. But I totally agree with them. Like, yeah, it's totally different. Like, I care for humans, but I just can't deal with people causing harm and speaking outlandish shit without facts, with no backup, and true facts, not some facts from left wing or right wing type of thing. You did your own research and can think for yourself, not someone telling you how to think and how to move. But my thing is like, for me, I think there's levels. Maybe you give them that grace the first time, maybe. And then if they become persistent, but you know, no, I don't. Because people fail to realize, like, I get it. You try to be nice. You don't want to come out outright rude. I get that. So you give them, you don't have to give them a full soliloquy of why you don't want to have kids, but just tell them, like, no, I just don't want them. You calm tone, whatever. But if they try to give you a whole thesis statement as to why you need to have no, I said already, I do not want to have kids or get married. Leave
That's
me alone.
exactly what my sister said, because I had to reflect a lot on my, like, snippy attitude. I was not in my normal form, and I think it's because I was overstimulated. I do so well in, like, private settings that when it's, like, multiple personalities, multiple energies, multiple, like, conversations, it's good to have those conversations. It's good to be around those people because you learn a lot, you have community, whatever. But I've been so stuck on, like, very intimate settings, very controlled. And so I wasn't doing well, basically. And everyone kind of caught wind of my attitude because I have a really bad fucking attitude. And I had to apologize to my sister and then also thank her for de-escalating my response to the person asking me about marriage. And I realized that I just need to be... I think I was being vague, like, oh, I don't want to be married, like, oh, this is not for me, like, instead of saying that, like, marriage, I don't want marriage, please don't ask me again. Like, she said, be so direct that there's literally nothing they can say after that. She's like, but you could say it in a way where it's, like, not so, like, aggressive, right? Like, but directness is, I think, what all of them need when asking me. I think what bothers me more is that they think something's wrong with me because I don't want those things.
Because so you have to remember, for the last, 100 years or more, that society had this perception of what women are supposed to be. We're supposed to be quiet, we're supposed to be, we can't burp or pass gas. And I'm like, what the? Listen, I burp, I pass gas. There is a time and place for it. And if I burp in public, I will cover my mouth and say, excuse me, I just had a full course meal. So I'm supposed to swallow my burp? I don't get it. It's normal bodily functions. If we can say, oh, it's cute when a kid do it, but I can't pass gas, I don't get it. Like, there's a time and place for it. Yes, I'm not just going to openly pass gas around people I don't know. If I'm in the comfort of my home and you in my house, I'm going to pass gas. Like, what do you expect me to do? But and want women to be quiet. You know, the whole thing of women were to be seen and not heard. Well, we don't live in those times anymore. I'm sorry. No. Like, I'm going to speak out. I'm going to speak up. You're not going to take advantage of me. And this is the thing that I battle with when I'm passionate about something. Some people are quick to say, oh, you're getting defensive. No, the fuck I'm not. Stop assuming I'm getting defensive because I'm not. I'm speaking to you in a tone that I'm passionate about. I'm not yelling. I'm not screaming. I grew up in a household where, you know, a lot culturally with Haitians, we speak very loud. I catch myself when I'm like, yo, why am I getting loud? I noticed my tone just went up because I got excited.
I think I laugh loud, but like I talk very soft only because I've been around. I don't know what it is about like our culture when they speak on the phone with people in Haiti or in Cape Verde, it's like 10 times louder. Like,
oh my! Hello, Utaden, hello. Yo, just like that, them calling cards they used to use, but now
so
it's WhatsApp.
Loud. I just feel like, bruh. And then God forbid you whispering around them, like, shut up, I'm on the phone, and I'm just like, ma'am, we were sitting here having a conversation. You get the fuck up with your goddamn call.
Loud. No, I grew, and most of us can relate. And there are times I've gotten, like, my voice has gotten loud, and people are like, why are you yelling? I'm like, I'm not yelling. My tone may have been raised. So say tone it down. Don't, because the moment you assume the wrong thing about me, then I'm gonna be loud because I won't yell. I can't say I've never yelled. There are times I've yelled for certain situations to get someone to, like, stop. Don't do that. Yeah. That's me yelling to stop you from doing it. I typically do it to children so they don't hurt themselves in the process. Yeah. But I have yet to yell. Right now, since I'm learning more about myself, I don't yell at an adult. My tone may have been raised, but I haven't.
I instantly shut down when unless I'm in like we're there now. We're both there. Outside of that, like when someone starts yelling, like the opposite person that I'm talking to starts yelling, I shut the fuck down. We're not having this conversation. You're not gonna talk to me like I'm a child. You're not gonna talk to me as though I don't understand what you're fucking saying. And you're not gonna talk to me like you're above me. Cause that's what it feels like when someone's yelling at you. It's like they're trying to put themselves above you, and we're not doing that. Yeah. So you're gonna talk to yourself.
I haven't yelled only when I'm trying to get students to attend. Like if there's a fight breaking out, you have to yell. No one's gonna use the soft tone. Like, stop fighting. You're gonna yell. Stop fighting. Go to class. Disperse. Yeah. Like, you know. There are settings where you need to yell, and I get that. But if it's just me and someone's having conversation, for me, I do catch myself getting loud, but I'm not yelling. I'm not getting loud in the sense for you to feel like we're arguing. I just get excited about something.
But some people don't receive that.
And that's the thing. And I correct them every time. Like, I'm not yelling. Yes, I realize that my tone got louder. I apologize, but I'm not yelling. So don't say I'm yelling. You haven't heard someone yell yet. Yeah. I guess you're not used to hearing people yell, but I know
my cousin would love you because we always tell her to stop yelling. She's like, I'm not yelling, and I'm just like, but you are though. Yep.
That's why when we play back voice messaging, like, damn, I sound like that, girl. And not realizing, like,
even just this podcast alone, listening to us audio, I'm like, why you gotta sound like a hyena every time you laugh?
That's just naturally you. Don't try to suppress it. But yeah,
I know I definitely try to suppress it, but I say all this to say.
Oh wait, before.
Oh yes, okay, Peggy. Go.
So these are some thoughts that were going through my head last night when I was writing this down. So first, I started off with society. Society, even though it's been more modernized, but certain things aren't set up to allow women to choose how to live their lives, right? So society has gone through some changes and allowed women into the workplace, right? Allowed women to make minimum wage or whatever the salary is, but we realize that when we have kids, we miss out on pay. So that's why a lot of times the pay will never be equal because the time I'm spending at home with a child, the man can still go to work. Yep. But even if I wasn't at home to have children, I'm still missing out on pay because you will still pay me less for doing the same work, having the same experience as a man. And that's where, when we say we want equality, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. And not being mistreated because I'm a woman in the workplace that's probably dominated by men. It's like, you wouldn't want your daughter to be treated that way, so why are you treating me that way, right? So we get the societal aspect for it. This is just a glimpse from my mind. So don't take it around with it and say this is what Peggy's saying. Yeah. Culture-wise, I do realize some cultures view women as useless sometimes if they don't get married or have children. They're like, oh, you're at this age, you still don't have children? Like, what are you good for? Excuse me? Yeah. I bring happiness to your lives. I provide great advice.
I serve a bigger purpose than breeding children.
Exactly.
I'm
not a fucking machine that just pops out babies every single time you press a button. Like, that's not what solely... I know biologically, the body's set up for that. Yeah. Like, there's certain things that you don't want your body to do. Your body naturally is just going to keep producing the eggs until either it stops doing it or you get pregnant, right? Naturally, I know the body's set up that way. But I don't have to have kids. You know what
I just thought of? So, like, people always say, like, well, that's what your body's made for. Like, you have the uterus, you have the eggs, you're supposed to procreate, right? But there's also other organs that we have in our body that we were born with, but has no fucking use. Like an appendix. So you're telling me that just because I have a uterus that I'm supposed to have children? So what's the purpose of an appendix? What's the purpose of a wisdom tooth? Like, the things that literally serve
it grows late in life and cause you so much fucking pain.
Right, exactly.
So
there's
pain.
So many other things that we could argue we have that we're born with or we grow when we're getting older in our bodies that have zero fucking use at all. And yet that's the only argument they can come up with. Outside of religion, that's the only argument they can come up with. Is the fact that we have these organs and that we are meant to procreate.
Child. And then I didn't write this down, but I had mentioned earlier the whole religion aspect. People want to use religion like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be used for. Like we said earlier, you can't pick and choose when you want to bring up the Bible, because there's a lot of things in the Bible we're not supposed to do. We're not even supposed to eat shrimp, lobster, crab, pork. Them shits be good though. But here we are eating them. For those of you who do eat them, we're not supposed to eat those. Yep. You know, you're picking and choosing. We're not supposed to wear clothing that has mixed fabrics. Yeah. And I be having things that have spandex and polyester. I don't think those supposed to be mixed together with a little bit of cotton. Like, come on.
What a splash.
You know, since I want to be technical and use the Bible, well, let's go at it then.
Yeah, let's go.
You know, you're supposed to rest on the
seventh
day.
Verse.
You know, you're supposed to rest on the seventh day. No, some of you guys work 7 days a week. Like, come on, if you're going to use the Bible for the whole thing. Yeah. And some of you guys misuse the Bible.
There's not one person, I can say this with confidence. I don't think there's one person on this God's green earth that follows the Bible word for word.
No. For those who are Christian, I know there's other religions out there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's only,
Yeah, we're talking from the Christian perspectives, because some of y'all Christians be on some shit. And it be making me wonder, like, y'all not living Jesus like.
No.
And y'all know me, I said it before.
But preaching it every Sunday.
Preaching it every Sunday, like you're holier than thou. Like, come on. And for those of you, especially the super racist ones, Jesus did not die on the cross and left you guys in charge. He did not leave any paperwork, I can assure you. And Jesus was black. Let me know what white person has woolly hair. And the description of Jesus I was told about with his golden or bronze skin, none of y'all look like that. So please, take a seat. Oh my God. Learn to love everyone.
Picking and choosing.
It's the picking and choosing. Yeah. So for those of you who are doing all this, trying to control people, or if it doesn't align to what you like to do, oh no, Jessica's not living right. I have to hate her. I have to cause her harm because she's not living the way I see fit. But we wanted to let you guys know that it's okay to not want kids or marriage, let alone a man if you're into men, okay? A man does not define you.
Or into women?
Yes. If you want to just be by yourself, then be by your fucking self. A man doesn't define you, a relationship doesn't define you, marriage don't define you, kids don't define you. You define you. The way people can judge you is literally how you treat others. Like, I may not know you from a hole in the wall, but if I see you interacting with people with respect from a distance, and regardless if the person is a billionaire or just a janitor somewhere, and you treat them with the same respect, I can respect you on that. Now, if you're mistreating people, I'm gonna look at you funny. But I cannot define you because you don't want kids, or you don't want to be married, you don't want to be in a relationship, you want to be a free person. Like, today, you might be in a relationship, and 3 months later, you know what, I want to be single. So be it. We need to stop putting controls and putting people in boxes they do not want to fucking be in. Like, we have to learn to accept that and move on. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, don't let Becky read you for filth. Because she just said a word.
I'm just saying, like, we, as, especially the adults, I know a lot of 65 plus people aren't probably watching or listening to us, but
at least for us, we can set the tone for what it's going to be like when we're in our 60s. Yes. Like, we can be that change. We can be the shift.
in our society.
Yeah.
You know, when people start seeing like,
I feel like our age group is the shift. To be fair.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the shift because us millennials are the groups that literally like will leave a job because we're not happy. You're not paying me, you're not giving me respect. All right, bye. Sometimes you might get a 2 weeks notice.
And our parents don't understand that. They're like,
no,
so you're not staying at this job for the rest of your life?
Because they grew up in a generation, you find a good job, you put your 30
whatever that even
years,
means, good
right,
job.
Right. You but back then jobs, the cost of living wasn't high. That's what our parents and grandparents had to realize. Cost of living wasn't high. Cost of food minimum to buy a house wasn't crazy. And your job was paying you well. Even to buy a car wasn't crazy. So yes, you could afford to stay at that job for 30 plus years until you retire and live comfortably. Now
and
it's
buy
not
a house
the same.
and have multiple cars and shit.
Yeah, now the cost of living keeps rising and rising, but the minimum wage is stagnant. Like, I don't need to go be a fucking football player to make millions to live comfortably. That don't make no sense. And I'm gonna end it right here. America, y'all don't care for the average worker. Y'all don't care about teachers. I'm saying teachers first because y'all really don't fucking respect us, right? But expect us to work fucking miracles with your kids. Y'all don't respect teachers. Y'all don't respect nurses, doctors, people who are saving your life. Yeah. But y'all put more emphasis on entertainers and athletes. I'm not saying athletes. A lot of athletes have put money into organizations that do help the less fortunate, and I'm good with that. But y'all respect those people. Y'all put those people on a pedestal than you do the average worker. Y'all really do. And this is why our society's so ass backwards. So I'm going to end it on that. You want to add anything else, girl?
I mean, you said it all. So just respect people and their decisions on what they want for their lives. And that's that. But on another note, we will catch you the next episode.